Hypnosis. Experience the magical, healing power of trance. Have you ever been curious what hypnosis can do for you? If so, you are now invited to experience the magical healing power of hypnosis for yourself and derive healing and personal improvement from it in all areas of your life in which you need it. Whenever you are ready to experience hypnosis and allow yourself to profit from this experience, find a comfortable chair or sofa to sit on. Do not continue until you made yourself comfortable. You've found a relaxing place to sit? Good. Sit comfortably with your hands on your thighs. Place your hands palm down on your thighs. In order to fully benefit from this experience, follow my instructions precisely. Now close your eyes and enjoy our journey together. Imagine walking through ancient Greece. You are approaching an ancient Greek temple which is dedicated to Asclepius, the patron of the arts of healing, and to Hypnos, the personification of sleep, who were often worshipped together. As you enter the temple, you notice a very comfortable place to relax, and you decide to take a rest. Before you are mosaics and paintings about a beautiful young winged man who lives in a cave or grotto in the underworld, in which his bed made of ebony stands. No light nor sound ever enters this grotto, which is the source of the river Lete, the river of forgetfulness. On the entrance of the grotto grow a number of poppies and other soporific, sleep-inducing plants. This entrance is guarded by Aeria, Silencia, and Oblivio, the goddesses or spirits of inactivity, calmness, and forgetfulness. While you wait and observe these images, you notice an otherworldly, beautiful, sleepy young winged man who looks exactly as the images you have seen, ascending from the underworld. He is a calm and gentle being who helps humans in need. He is the Greek god Hypnos, the god of sleep, the son of Nyx, the night. He governs sleep and thus owns half the lives of all beings. Not even the immortals are immune to his powers of sleep, and even Zeus, the king of the Olympian gods, must fall into a deep sleep if touched by Hypnos' powers. Hypnos is known as Pan Damator, the all-captivating, as Hypnos Epidotus, the generous giver, and as Nedimos Hypnos, the lovely, sweet, enveloping sleep. Amongst his children are Morpheus, the personification of dreams, and Phantasos, the personification of fantasy and imagination. He is so full of sleepiness, he seems to ooze out sleep everywhere he goes and onto everything he touches. His finger touches the top of your head, where your crown chakra is. You can feel his calming, relaxing touch. Notice how it feels. Is it warm or cold? Is it light or heavy? Is it gentle or firm? Notice the sleep-inducing aura of Hypnos entering your crown chakra and gradually spreading through your head and eventually through your entire body. With every breath, the sleepiness can spread more and more. Imagine that your eyeballs turn upwards and look through the inside of your skull at your own crown chakra. Your eyes are firmly fixed on your own crown chakra, and you can see through your own crown chakra as through a window, and you can see and feel the sleepiness entering the top of your head through the finger of Hypnos. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on this spot while Hypnos touches you and open yourself to his touch. Notice the sleepiness that emanates from this spot. Perhaps you do and perhaps you don't perceive any colors that come with the sleepiness. Notice if there are perhaps any physical sensations. Is there any feeling of warmth or any sound, vibration or gentle rhythm? Or are you beginning to feel a little bit dizzy or to gradually drift away? Notice how the sleepiness spreads downwards. More and more the sleepiness spreads over your eyes. Your eyelids become more and more comfortably relaxed and more heavy, while your eyes remain fixed on your crown chakra and on Hypnos' finger. They never focus anywhere else but only onto your crown chakra and the finger of Hypnos. Your eyelids become heavier and heavier, so heavy that it feels more and more impossible to open them, so heavy that you don't even want to open them anymore, so completely relaxed that it is completely impossible to move them, so completely heavy that all you want to do is keep them comfortably and firmly shut, completely immovable, almost as if they were magically paralyzed. And as you feel the sleepiness spread more and more throughout your body, you can begin to enjoy the healing powers of this magical sleep more and more. The magical healing power of sleep keeps your eyes magically locked and shut, as if your eyelids are glued together with the healing powers of Hypnos. And while your eyelids are comfortably heavy and firmly shut, your eyeballs keep looking upwards through your skull. And as your eyes are firmly fixed onto your crown chakra and remaining fixed onto your crown chakra all the time, looking at the finger of Hypnos, you can now convince yourself of the healing powers of Hypnos. In a moment, you will experience what it's like when your eyes are completely shut and remain firmly closed through the magical healing powers of Hypnos. With your eyes firmly looking upwards through your crown chakra at the finger of Hypnos, you can now try in vain to open your eyes. Try now in vain as you notice, looking upwards, that no matter how hard you try, it is impossible. You can be amused that you can't, and once you have noticed that they are locked shut, you can stop trying, and as you stop trying, your body can relax even more as you go into a much deeper inner meditative healing state of trance. With every moment that passes and every breath, your relaxation and comfort can double. A wonderful, relaxing heaviness can spread throughout your entire body, allowing you to go deeper and deeper into this inner state. And as that happens, you can wonder what else is possible. In a moment, the heaviness has completely spread throughout your entire body. You can begin to notice which arm feels the heaviest. Focus on that arm. Focus on the heaviness. And as you do this, all the heaviness in your body flows into this arm. And as this happens, the arm becomes heavier and heavier. And as this arm becomes heavier and heavier, it begins to become stiff and rigid, rigidly locked into position. Think of your posture as the posture of an ancient statue. Imagine with amusement that your arm and leg on which it rests gradually turn to stone. With every moment they become heavier and stiffer, and the more heavy and rigid they become, the more they turn to stone, like the arm and leg of a beautiful classical Greek marble statue. One side of your body turns more and more to stone. The heavy arm and hand and the thigh and leg below the hand of this arm also turn to stone. Beautiful marble. And like a beautiful classical Greek marble statue, the hand and the thigh on which it rests are made from one piece, and they are inseparable. They are one solid piece of marble. Notice with curiosity what it feels like when your arm and leg are a solid piece of marble. Notice the heaviness and stiffness. And as you feel this, you can now convince yourself of the magical powers of your mind. Seeing how your arm and leg have turned to stone and feeling the heaviness and stiffness, try now in vain to lift the heavy hand and notice with amusement that you can't. Try now in vain, and as you notice that no matter how hard you try, it is impossible, you can be even more amused that you can't, and once you have noticed that you can't, you can stop trying. And as you stop trying, your body and mind can go into a much deeper inner meditative healing state of trance. And as that happens, all the remaining heaviness from the other arm moves into the heavier arm. The heavier arm feels as if it is pulled down more and more by the weight, and the lighter arm feels the opposite. And the heavier arm becomes even heavier, and the lighter arm becomes lighter and lighter. And the heaviness is removed from the lighter arm. It flows out of the lighter arm until eventually only lightness remains. With every breath you take in, the lighter arm becomes lighter and lighter. And you can be curious what will happen when it has become completely weightless. And while this happens, memories of ancient Greek statues you have seen may perhaps come to mind. In classical art, there is usually a balance between the two sides. One apparently much lighter than the other. If the statue is standing, most of the weight rests on one leg, while the lighter leg perhaps barely touches the ground. Similarly, there's also a balance between the arms, perhaps even more so if the statue is sitting. One arm points down and the other points up and is lifted high into the air. And while your conscious mind remembers these images, your lighter arm continues to become lighter and lighter, all by itself. Sometimes the statue of a Greek hero may lift their weapon with one hand. A Greek deity may lift a scepter or symbol of their power, and you can begin to sense an uplifting connection to these archetypal images which rise up from your memories. Without your conscious mind having to do anything, your unconscious and your higher soul can now allow your lighter arm to become completely weightless. The statue of a Greek lady may lift up a cup, and a Greek philosopher may lift up their empty hand to point upwards towards the heavens. The ancient Greeks raised their eyes up towards the heavens to elevate their mind and soul higher and higher. And some of them perhaps even tried to reach up for the stars. Do you remember what it is like to reach up for something that is high above you? Do you remember the feeling of your muscles, all the micro movements that happen all by themselves without you even having to consciously be aware of them? Right now. You don't need to do anything consciously, while you can curiously observe what happens all by itself. I don't know if you have already noticed any micro movements in your hand, in your elbow, or in your shoulder as your arm becomes lighter and lighter all by itself. And whenever you sense that, you can allow it to rise more and more, higher and higher. Very well. While we typically think of ancient Greek statues as being made from marble, the earliest of the Greek sculptures which were erected were probably wooden cult statues. Some statues or monuments were moved with tiny, perhaps even jerky movements, one step at a time, so tiny that you might almost not have noticed that they move at all. But over time, they were moved over a considerable distance. Of course, if a part of such a wooden statue, perhaps an arm, fell into the water, it would immediately float up all by itself. Can you imagine what it would be like when your arm gets even lighter, allowing it to float upwards all by itself? By the way, did you know that Archimedes, one of the greatest mathematicians in ancient Greece, put forward the Principle of Buoyancy more than 2,000 years ago? And the lighter your arm gets, higher and higher it is lifted, your mood, it rises. The higher it rises, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the higher your mind and soul is elevated, and the soul rules over the body, and your unconscious mind causes all the involuntary movements in your body and your limbs now, rising higher all by itself in consciousness. And as this uplifting experience happens now, you can begin to experience the healing powers of Hypnos. Any part of your mind and soul and any area of your life can now be uplifted through the magical healing powers of Hypnos. The higher it rises up, the greater the healing will be. Notice the increasing lightness and weightlessness in your arm, higher and higher. Levels of pure magical healing, love, pulling upwards all by itself. It can now rise higher and higher. Sometimes it happens quicker, and sometimes it takes a few moments. Sometimes it happens smoothly, and sometimes in little jerky movements. But you don't have to do anything consciously now, while you can allow it to happen all by itself. Notice the uplifting lightness in your arm and allow yourself to be amazed by what happens all by itself. You can now enjoy the magical powers of hypnosis. You can feel being pulled upwards, being pulled up higher and higher. With every life-giving breath, you can allow yourself to be pulled up more and more. Enjoy the feeling of lightness. The more you allow yourself to enjoy it, the more healing comes to you. Higher and higher. Take a little while to enjoy this uplifting experience. Really enjoy this uplifting experience. Allow the healing powers of Hypnos to uplift your body and soul. Allow your body and soul to be filled with wonderful healing powers now. And once you have bathed your body and soul in these healing powers, the lightness of the lighter arm slowly, very slowly, begins to flow back into the heavier arm, only as quickly as your soul receives the magical healing of Hypnos. Lightness and heaviness balances again in exactly the way they should be. And as this happens, the magical healing powers of Hypnos balance everything that was imbalanced in your mind, soul, and body. They heal any imbalanced feelings, any physical pain, any limiting beliefs or blockages, any emotional trauma, any fear or anger or sadness, or any addiction or harmful desire. As your arms are balanced, your inner balance, harmony, and healing increases. Gradually, the lightness of the lighter arm flows more and more back into the heavier arm, and the heaviness of the heavier arm returns to the lighter arm, while your inner healing increases more and more, until both arms are both as light or heavy as they are supposed to be. You can allow yourself to fully enjoy this healing experience now. Feeling the wonderfully comfortable healing powers of Hypnos, joyfully relaxing and letting it happen all by itself. As your conscious mind can enjoy this healing experience, your unconscious mind can allow all these healings to happen, whether you are aware of them or not. And perhaps there is a dormant potential within you, waiting to be activated. And if you are ready to use it for a greater good, perhaps the powers of Hypnos allow this potential to be awakened within you. And any changes that will be beneficial for you and the world you live in can happen now. And you can allow all these changes to happen now. And while this happens, the memory of this deep transformational hypnotic state is so deeply integrated into your subconscious mind that from now on, every time Hypnos' finger touches your crown chakra, you will immediately and easily enter into at least an equally deep state of hypnosis. And every time you experience his touch, your state will be a bit deeper than the previous time. And with this, all the positive changes and all the healings of this experience are deeply integrated into your subconscious mind. And now, all the positive changes and all the healings of this experience are deeply integrated into your subconscious mind. And whenever these changes are complete, you can begin to notice how the sleep-inducing aura of Hypnos is slowly withdrawn through your crown chakra and gradually fades from your entire body. With every breath, the sleepiness can fade more and more, and the more this happens, you can begin to notice how you feel refreshed and vitalized. And when all the sleepiness has returned to him, his finger stops touching the top of your head, where your crown chakra is. And as that happens, your eyeballs turn downwards, as if they are looking into your body. You feel the refreshing, positive energy that remains in your body. Sometimes you will return from a trance, fully aware of all the healing that has happened. And sometimes you may not remember at all why you feel healed and how that healing has happened, and enjoy it anyway. Meanwhile, Hypnos congratulates you how well you have done and asks you to share this experience with others who might profit from this experience and who are in need of healing. You can take a moment to thank Hypnos in your own words now. And then he disappears as gently as he appeared. Whenever you are ready, you can leave the temple feeling how the experience has touched you on a deep inner level. And as soon as you begin to fully realize the deep potential of this experience, you can open your eyes as easily as before, knowing deep inside of you about the healing powers of Hypnos and feeling refreshed and empowered. You can now take a moment to take a few deep breaths. and enjoy the memory of this experience. As you share this experience with your friends on social media, here and elsewhere, remember to say a few words about how it touched you. Do you notice the curiosity to learn more about the magical wisdom and power of hypnosis as taught in the mysteries? Whenever you feel ready to learn more about it, you can now check out the link in the description.